Hello and welcome to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Daydream.
Your wellness warrior, Susan.
And we do have a special guest in the studio, a good friend of mine.
Hi, I'm Jackie Null.
We'd like to thank Jackie as well as you for joining us today, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. You know, today our topic is from implants to explants. Now, it may come as no surprise that breast augmentation has been the #1 cosmetic procedure for over a decade. But you may not have realized exactly how popular the procedure has become. Now, according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, a total of 400,000 women had the procedure in 2007. Today, that number has grown exponentially to over 5 million women as of 2010. Now, that was 8 years ago, so just imagine how much more that number has grown in the past 8 years. Getting breast implants is a major step for most women and often a positive one. Now, studies have shown that breast implants can help boost women's self-esteem, their body image, and sexual satisfaction. Implants can also help correct deformed breast development in young women. But studies have also pointed to the critical need for careful screenings by doctors and self-awareness among women before breast implant surgery is performed. Data shows that 5% of all women have undergone breast augmentation surgery and that enough implants have been placed to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Now imagine that. Ladies, let's talk about breast implants that once took you to being the bomb, to now talking about explants being the literal ticking time bomb that you are now walking around with as this foreign object is in your chest. Let's talk about.
Well,
It's serious, okay?
everything's a trend, and that's what I'm not understanding. Whether it's breast implants or butt implants,
Or lip injections.
and everything's a trend. It's like, okay, it's cool for the moment, but
What about that moment?
yeah, and then you look at pictures like 10, 15 years later, and you're just like, what did I do? So,
We have a special guest, Jackie Null. Jackie's a very good friend of mine. Jackie has actually gone from implants to explants. Jackie, tell us a little bit about your story and for what reason did you get breast implants and what year? I have a good year.
Sure. In '07, when they released the silicone implants, that's when they were reapproved again. And I really got on a health kick. I started running like 6 miles a day and then hitting weights and stuff like that. And after having my son, I had a lot of stretched out skin, so I felt like my boobs did not match the rest of my body. It's like they kind of hung there like pancakes.
Right.
And so I went to a plastic surgeon to talk about a lift, and he kind of talked me out of it. He kind of scared me with the scars and everything. And he said what would be more ideal would just fill that skin up with a very small implant.
How old were you at that time?
It was in '07, so
This is
11 years ago.
11
In your
years
20s?
ago.
Okay, enough on that one.
I'm 31. We're not very well right now. I don't know, 28, 29.
Yeah, okay, they say that's pretty much the average age. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, after having let this doctor talk you into them, I guess he went over with you all that this would involve.
Yeah, but I knew everything.
Okay, so you went there
I was
knowing.
just like, yep, sign,
Okay, so you went
whatever.
in- you went in and signed,
I didn't
okay.
read all the stuff. So those were saline, okay? Within a few months of getting those in, my body started attacking them with scar tissue.
Wow.
So I go to another plastic surgeon. He says, because your body rejected the saline, you qualify for whatever new FDA study, the first so-and-so 100 people who are
Get for
trying the
free,
new
yeah.
silicone. It wasn't free. It was 10.8.
Wow, damn.
Wow.
Okay.
All right then.
It wasn't free. But the attraction to silicone that women are facing is that they look and feel a lot more natural.
Is that the gel
Yeah,
ones? The gel
yeah,
ones are totally
like
different.
you almost, I mean, you can tell, but you really can't. Your boobs are still soft, and the saline, a lot of times you can see ripples, and I actually heard water sloshing around. Yes,
Wow.
bend over and you can hear that water
Wow.
sloshing around. It's a really gross feeling. So they're more natural feeling and looking. And so that's what I did. So I went back a second time. So this is my fault. I'm not blaming any plastic surgeons. I made this decision.
Well, you're standing up for it. You're owning to it.
Yeah.
So that's what this is about.
Prior to getting the implants, if I tried on my hardest day and sat home and ate bags of Cheetos. I couldn't get over 115 pounds.
Oh,
Within a year and a half,
She's one of those.
I remember that.
I've never been that
in a
much.
year and a half, I had put on 50 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Where your immune system
now-
was just so shut down.
Now I'm looking back at the small things that I could see now that I'm
Happening
looking back
then.
11
Yeah,
years
Sure.
later.
Right.
Sure.
Because I didn't notice it
That's
at
that
the
hindsight.
time.
Hindsight is
Yeah.
often wise, isn't it?
It is. It's worth money in the bank.
It was the weight gain. I would lose and gain 30 every 6 months for no reason, not
Wow.
adding or deleting
That's
anything
devastating
out
to a
of
woman.
I just got used to it. It became like a norm. Twice a year, I gained and lost 30 pounds.
So did you think that it was in relation to your surgery? Or
Not at
did
the
you think,
time.
I'm
just thought
getting older, my
maybe I'm hitting
metabolism?
30 and my 115 pounds of luck ran out. I don't know.
Wow.
That's what I thought at the time. See, at the time, I was looking at every individual symptom and not relating it to a whole underlying cause.
Okay.
Okay.
And the second thing I'd say I noticed would be like chronic fatigue, tired, like all you're thinking about is what you got to get done and getting back to your bed. That's it.
I remember you told me that a couple
And
times.
you're still in you at that time you were still in your early 30s, right?
Yeah, and prior to
Wow.
that, like I love to work out. I love to go do things, and my life centered around doing the bare minimum and just getting back to my bed.
Wow.
That's
So it
scary.
completely changed who you were.
Yeah, it did. I gained a lot of weight. I didn't want to do anything because I was too tired. If there was something going around, any kind of flu, bug, sickness, I got it. And it didn't go away in a and a few days like everybody else. It hung around for a month.
Sure.
Oh, man.
That's your
Your immune system,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it was, and now that, I'm past all that, all the reading and research I've done is basically says that you've got a foreign object in your body, and your
Doesn't
your
belong
body
there.
is
It
doing
doesn't belong there.
what it's supposed to do.
expel it.
It's attacking it.
That's right.
While it's attacking it, all your other systems in your body
And
get
shut it
neglected.
down. And
Exactly.
shut it down.
And then after that, I'd say on the 5-year mark is when I guess my immune system started turning on me and started attacking my own joints and my own muscles. Then the actual real pain set in.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like I couldn't do my own dishes. I couldn't grip anything. My muscles were in a consistent state of muscle spasms
Oh,
at all
I can't
times.
even
I was
imagine
just
that.
used to
I
it.
can't even
I have
take
back
that.
spasms
can't
and I
take that
get
occasion.
leg
Yeah.
cramps, so I can just
It
imagine.
became a norm to me to be in pain, and I have a high pain tolerance. And it came on so slow that one day I just kind of was like, wow, I just lay in bed and I'm in pain all day long, and I'm only 40 years old. There's
Yes,
got to be something wrong with me.
Absolutely.
I literally felt like I was just dying.
So when did you put it all together?
Yeah, and you had to have been going to the doctor. So what
I
was
was gonna
going on
say,
with those?
yeah.
That's what I want to know. Is because that
Well,
was years and years of
individual
pain.
symptoms, and then for example, I had an acute glaucoma attack in 2013.
I remember
What?
that. I remember that. She
And they
worked with me
related
there.
it to a medication, but hindsight 2020 is why was I so weak?
Right.
My immune system is so weak that I go blind for a month,
She worked with me.
Oh
at that
my
time.
God.
an entire month.
How awful.
Oh my! I
It
can't
has
even
so many. It
wrap my
has so
head around
many
that.
side
But
effects. that people-
if you think about it, if this is running down your entire immune system, you're susceptible to anything that comes your way.
Right.
Anything, walking, anything
airborne,
exposed to.
anything.
You have nothing to fight with,
Yeah, because your body's fighting something else.
which it's supposed to, because it has identified its priority.
Right.
Foreign thing in the body, get rid of
Yeah.
it. Whatever we got to do, throw all the soldiers at it.
And go
Right.
for it, yeah.
Mhm.
But you went in fully knowledgeable about what was going to take place in your body, and like you said a moment ago, you just signed. You
I
just,
really was not
that,
fully
that was
knowledgeable.
my point. That was my point. The
I'm
fact
sure
that you
it was-
signed.
Right, but the
I
point
don't
you were
even
making.
know the
It's
disclosures.
like I was ready for it. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm
the
grabbing
point was,
mine.
oh, I
I
know
want it. I want it.
Everything, let's
That's
just
it.
get this done. I see women walking with them every day. They look fine.
So
Right.
was this mainly because I read somewhere that 90% of the women have breast augmentation after their children? That's the first one. Then they said 29% I think have them, just for cosmetic purposes.
Well, so remember the first part was because of my child, and then my body rejected the first pair. But I'm not
And
gonna
it wasn't
lie,
enough.
I did get a taste of that extra attention, and I liked it.
So the
on the
sexual
second
satisfaction.
Of
time,
course.
I mean,
You felt it was worth it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Just do it
It'll
again.
be okay, right?
It's
It'll be okay.
fine.
We're girls, we get it.
Oh
Trust
yeah,
me, we
oh
get it.
yeah.
Wow. So that says a lot. So once you've had the opportunity to realize, okay, like I said in my little spiel here, you were the bomb. Okay, now you become, somebody different because now your confidence is up, your self-esteem is up. You're feeling a little bit better about yourself. Your clothes probably fit a little bit better. Boobs work when nothing else is happening.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
the honeymoon period
I
was
know that's the
over
game.
really fast because within a year and a half, 2 years, I put on 50 pounds and I was just flat tired all the time. So that was fun for about a year and a half. It wasn't worth it.
Wow.
Wow. I can't imagine being that sick that long and consistently not being able to find out, well, what is
I couldn't
Vanity.
identify it.
Vanity is a terrible
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
I mean, I say that. Yeah,
I
I say that, and I don't really just say that in jest. It's just I'm one of those people. Pride and vanity are my
Mhm.
biggest sins. So
Pride
I
I'm
can.
okay with vanity. I'm not so much as I used to, because I guess as you get a little bit older, you're comfortable with who you are. You've developed
Your
the
health
art
needs
of
more.
mastering
Right.
yourself.
Oh yeah, most
and your health
definitely.
becomes priority. You no longer have to wear other people's initials and Louis Vuitton. It becomes about you then.
unless they're on sale.
Okay. Just so we know. But so you had the gel ones first, and then the saline.
The saline first, and then
Oh, so the
and
saline
then
were
the
the
silicone.
lesser
The
ones.
silicone were the ones
So,
that they said were the best.
In the 11 years from when you first got them up until today, how many surgeries have you had? Like put in, remove, fix?
They say every 10 to 12
Two.
years.
So I had them in twice.
Uh-huh.
Well, I had them in, and then they take the second surgery. They took the saline out and put the silicone in, and the third one was taking the silicone out and doing a breast lift. So
Which-
three.
Just completely
Which was
taken
what
them
you went in for the very first time.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
see,
it's all
that's
full
probably
circle.
your first mind. So you let some man
I-
talk you into that, okay?
Yeah, I did.
Excuse me, guys.
I
but
did.
basically, you
Well,
know,
it's
yeah,
it's true. Is that not why we are concerned about our
this
looks?
is what I'm saying.
Because
we do all this.
a man
but
convinced us.
Basically, what I have read on on the website that's for the 40,000 women that's in this breast implant explant club. Facebook team
Group.
For the most part, some of these guys didn't want them to do it. So a lot of times it was us, and I think sometimes women have a thing with other women.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
when we do
course,
things,
we're-
it's
we're
just
trying to
compete.
We're competing with
Sure.
the other woman. It has nothing to do with the man. So, a lot of these men that are now nursing these women back to health after having these explants done
Exactly.
never wanted you to get them in
Right.
the first place.
And people need to understand that it affects
It's the
mom's
household.
health affects
The household.
everyone.
That's
Because
everything.
mom is taking care of everything. If mom
And
can't
mom is
even
down.
manage
She's like,
herself,
man down.
Man down, I was thinking the
Woman
same
down.
thing.
Woman
goes down.
That's
I mean,
it.
Absolutely.
It affected my income.
Yeah,
because
happy
you're
wife, happy
tired.
life.
Exactly.
It led to other issues because you're just too tired to participate anymore in so many aspects of life.
I was going to say, too, I'm sure in terms of your kids, there were probably things that you wanted to participate in with them, but being so tired all the time, that makes it almost impossible to really, like we were saying, to really be fully present
engaged and present, yeah.
for
Yeah.
the kids.
To and from the bed. That's it. That's all I wanted to do.
What were you
Wow.
telling Andrew all this time?
I did the bare minimum, and he just likes to play video games. He's kind of a blur,
Yeah.
but I have a lot more energy. The one thing I wanted to point out for so people don't go, oh, well, mine are saline. It's okay. It's a silicone shell, so get over it. You're not okay either.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what this is
It's
about.
a
Making
silicone
people
shell. It
aware.
may be saline inside, but it's the whole deal of maybe the body doesn't like silicone, period, or it doesn't
Why
like
should it?
anything foreign.
Why should it?
Exactly.
If you have
And let's make that clear that the statement you just made, OMG, it was that this is about awareness. We're not knocking anyone who's had
No,
work
you
done.
got
We're not
it.
knocking
Yeah,
plastic
right.
surgery.
Go
We
for
all
it.
love to age gracefully.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So that's not what the show is
No,
about.
this
It is
is
about
awareness.
awareness and like she said, she went in knowing everything, had done her research, so just let her sign it. And so this is to make everyone aware, even when you know everything.
You don't.
That's a flaw of you.
Right.
I know everything.
Yeah.
I won't get sick.
But we
That's
do
what
that with everything, every
Absolutely.
aspect of our lives. I
This
know
is
this.
something we want.
I did it already. Yeah, I took care of it. I don't have time for all this. Just get what I want done. And
we
Right.
justify the things we want.
Absolutely.
We just find to
We
ourselves.
have talked ourselves into it, and our entire psyche is completely committed to whatever that is.
And if you believe it, it's true.
Now, like you said, there's 40,000 women in this Facebook group, the Explant group.
Yes, 38.9 as of
38.9.
yesterday, and it's called Breast Implant Illness by Nicole. The Facebook webpage has been sued multiple times by plastic surgeons. Go figure.
They take you off
was taken
off,
down
yeah.
twice.
Took you off,
Wow.
That is
Because
That tells
anytime
you
you're taking
something.
money out of someone's pocket, and then if you scan the page, it's really kind of cool because at least once or twice a day, you'll see. I'm so thankful to all you guys. My friend
I've
made
seen
me
that.
come here and look at this page before I got my implants, and I have changed my mind.
That's wonderful.
wow.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure we add that information to
our website, and absolutely, and we'll have it on our Facebook page.
Absolutely.
They don't. I mean, you can take one person like myself, a doctor or any individual, and tell me it's all in my mind. But when you get 38,000
See, I hate when
women,
they tell you that.
See,
it's,
and that's-
you're
that's just one
hypochondriac.
group.
Right. Men always try to.
Right, that's just one group, because we were contacted earlier in the week, last week, from someone else who was in a different group and saw what our topic was, and so they were interested. So there's obviously a heck of a lot more women.
we're all finding each other.
Absolutely.
And
Those, if you're
can-
listening, please, on Facebook, those who are listening on the live feed, you can share your stories with us. You can share it on the comments. You can text us at 833-644-2638. You can call into the studio at 713-789-0096. You can hit us up on Twitter. Contact any of us. Share your story with us, or your friend's story, or maybe you almost had a story, but you were saved somehow. Someone convinced you, or you saw something. There was a red flag. Let us know. There obviously has to be hundreds of thousands of more women.
Absolutely.
And if you have questions, please.
Now, I
We're
think
here.
the organization that contacted our Facebook page, I think you gave it to me a couple of days, and I think I sent it to you. Were you aware of this organization? I think
No, I
it's
had never
breast
heard of it.
implant victim
Yes,
awareness?
a breast implant victim awareness
or something like that. Yeah.
advocacy.
So obviously
That's
they've
what it
got
is.
all these different agencies that all need to come together and do a class
Right.
action lawsuit. This is crazy that doctors have misled and misguided women. They knew what this was causing. They knew the
Chronic
FDA had
inflammation too.
They knew the FDA had fully approved this product. I've seen them on some of the research that I've seen where there's a clear silicone pack that they put in,
I've seen that
and then
too.
there's one with mold.
Yeah.
Imagine what mold does to your body. You know what it does to your house.
They've had stuff growing off of it that looks like fingers.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like bacteria. I had all mine sent off to toxicology, and mine came back all clear. But it also kind of says something. If mine didn't come back with any bacteria, fungus, or growing off of it, if they were perfectly fine and I tested negative for everything they tested
Why
me
do you
for,
have? Why?
and I was still sick, that's got to tell you something.
Okay, question. Now, having been married to a surgeon, I can tell you that doctors will cover for each other. So the question has to be posed now, me being a conspiracy theorist, there could very easily have been something there when
It
they
was
took
sent off
yours
to a
out.
third-party lab.
Okay, that's what they say, but
They billed
doctors
me
are
$3
doctors are
grand.
doctors.
Ooh, just
Oh,
to get
that's
tested?
okay. They'll get the money. Yeah.
To send off the implants. I think they tested on like 3 different types of tests, because I said I want them tested up and down for everything. Like the actual implant itself, my breast tissue, and the capsule. Are y'all familiar with what the capsule is?
No.
Okay, that is when you get an implant in, your body
behind the muscle?
immediately starts forming a tissue around it. Okay, like this.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
Well, it
And-
encapsulates your breast. Is that
Right,
what you're
so
saying?
your own body starts forming a tissue around
It's
it
fighting it right then. Looks like.
immediately. And some people's are real thick, some are thin, some are full of bacteria, some are not. Some it forms a barrier to protect you from your own implant. Some people, when you slice them over, the silicone falls out. It's what your body does to defend yourself against this implant. Everybody has one.
Wow.
And he told me mine was thin. It looked normal. So if mine was normal,
Right.
Yeah, right.
and I was still in that bad of shape,
Imagine someone whose immune system was compromised to begin with, and then, but I'm healthy enough for the surgery.
Right.
Right. Because of course, once again, if we want it bad enough,
Oh, we can.
we're going to say that we're okay and
Yeah.
going to continue to move
So
forward.
what was the absolute last straw? I have a list of about 60 things.
anaphylaxis.
Now, what is anaphylaxis for listeners out there?
Shock, like allergic
Oh,
shock.
anaphylactic shock.
My
Okay.
face swelled up, my eyes closed.
That
And
was
this
it.
happened in 30 seconds. Like
Oh
in
my
30
God.
seconds, my face kind of itched. And as soon as I scratched it, my face just instantly blew up. My eyes started watering. My tongue started swelling. My throat closed.
Like
Oh
it's,
my
so it's a
God.
severe, like fatal allergic reaction.
It's kind of like
Exactly.
those people that get stung by bees and
Right, when you
diarrhea,
get high.
but
Yeah.
it happened out of nowhere. There was no trigger. I didn't get bit by. I was sleeping.
Oh Lord, that's even worse. 'cause
And
you're-
I woke up just to go to the bathroom, and my eyebrow itched. As soon as I scratched it, it just, all the heat, I could just feel my face swelling up. And the worst thing is I couldn't tell the paramedics what was wrong because I couldn't speak because your tongue and your throat is closing.
That
You
would be,
need
that
that
has
room.
to be frightening because
Well,
you
yeah,
could
because
die.
they're yelling at you like you're retarded. You're going, what's wrong? You're going,
Right.
like if I could talk, I
I
would
would
surely
tell
be
you.
telling you
Yeah.
right
my
now.
eyes are telling
Give
me
me a
that
pen.
I'm
I
trying
bet
to
they
say
were men,
something,
right?
I can't.
Yes,
Yes,
they
they
were.
were.
See, this is
Because
what
the first
I'm
thing a
telling
woman would have said is she can't talk.
She can't.
Yeah,
Right.
she can't talk. Yeah, sure. Something must be swollen.
Being a mom, you kind of
Yeah, and I've got a son, and he's just sitting there. Mom, suffocating.
that had to be devastating because he couldn't do it. He couldn't do anything.
Well, I was fighting not to like. If anybody's ever, I have asthma, so I know what it feels like to not breathe and fighting for those seconds of air.
Oh man.
So I was fighting not to pass out because I felt like if I passed out, that would be
You were
it.
done.
Right. Your
Wow.
body's kind of like.
So okay, now some of the things that are indicative of breast implant illness is, like I said, there's about 60 of them: ear ringing,
Yes.
sudden food intolerance and allergies, headaches, slow muscle recovery after activities, heart palpitation, changes in normal heart rate, sore and aching joints, swollen and tender lymph nodes, bouts of dehydration for no reason. I mean, the list goes on. It's about 60 of them.
Yeah.
And things, frequent urination, something that you wouldn't even associate
Exactly.
Yeah.
with the implants. So a lot of women may be experiencing some of these symptoms and not tying it to
Right.
what
That's
it
what
really
I
is.
did.
And that's a false sense
That's
of
what I
security.
did until I'd say about 6 to 8 months ago. I tied it to the individual symptom somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
instead of looking at the big picture, and then I started changing any kind of lowest common denominator. I used to smoke cigarettes, quit smoking cigarettes, change my diet. There's got to be something that I'm doing to be in this much pain. And when I changed to my diet and my exercise routine, which exercising when you're completely exhausted is so hard, but I was willing to try
Determined.
anything to
Exactly.
get better. And when none of it worked, that's when I knew something was really wrong.
It takes a minute for us to really realize I'm not well. You know, it takes
Right.
you a minute
Because
because you
we're kind of like
No, to
sold,
accept it.
you know,
Yeah,
we're kind of
right.
It's
sold
not.
in
It's
our
not that we
way.
didn't realize it. So we didn't want to accept it.
well, yeah, that's always the
You know,
case.
we're determined. Look, you know, it's got to get done. Do this. Do that.
They
You know.
have here toxic shock symptoms, cramping, liver and kidney dysfunction, general chest discomfort, shortness of breath, pain and or burning sensation around the implant or the underarm. Did you have any of that?
I was numb on my arms, but I really didn't have any pain in the breast area. It felt really heavy and it felt uncomfortable, but the pain was more in my joints and in my muscles.
So it wasn't. It wasn't like. It was generalized
Again,
pain,
you
basically,
think
not
that- you would think
localized.
that
No,
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't
was
localized.
The
It was so-
infections in her breast, and yet
Yeah.
everything but her breast.
But her
hurt.
breast hurt,
Yes.
right.
That
So
is
that's why I
that's
didn't. And see, I knew I was
Wow.
sick when I knew I needed to take them out, and when I got them taken out. But saying like right now, since I feel better, looking back, I was 10 times sicker than I thought I was.
Oh wow.
Like worse, because now I know what it feels like to feel normal again.
Mm-hmm.
But feel better, just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I knew I was sick, but it also gives you a real high degree of brain fog,
I read that. I
And,
think that's
like,
on here. That's listed on
hard
here
to
as well.
concentrate on like
That's
very
listed here.
menial tasks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says insomnia,
yeah.
brain fog.
Visible disturbance. She's talking about.
Yeah, difficulty concentrating, memory,
Yeah.
memory loss.
Difficulty swallowing.
It's a whole list, guys. You know, if you
This
you
is
have any
crazy.
friends, family members that already have these things in place, at least if they start complaining about any of these 60-some things that you may have heard us mention, but go check on the internet to find out exactly what some of the others are. But it could be a hair loss as well. They've got so many different things that you wouldn't even
I
think.
look back like a man.
Oh my God.
So I'm saying we have. Oh, now you know that's
See,
No.
that'd be
yeah,
right
fight
there.
words.
I'd be in the garage trying
Way too many workshops and
Yes.
tea tree oil and everything.
Absolutely.
Now, I
No.
also have a picture here that you guys probably
That
haven't
is
seen.
unbelievable.
Wow.
This is someone, I guess, that had some sort of surgery that clearly didn't work well. But why they would leave her with one breast that is fully
Right.
visual, normal, and the other one that is not. On that note, we'll have to take a break, and we will be right back. Under what circle?
You are listening to The Bridge. Share your opinion by calling 713-789-0096. Stay tuned.
Hi. Oh, you say you bet it wasn't. But it probably wasn't. This is probably some place in the back around the corner, upstairs.
Well, it's either like the injections that people were getting, and they were getting them in people's home by people who were not doctors because they didn't have to be.
Or they show people who were like, oh, I injected myself, this and that, and you see what they look like. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you go to that person when they look like that?
Marion, how do I see this?
But
Is
you
it
know,
on your
too,
page?
sometimes
Oh, it's hot in here.
it is hot. Okay, good.
No, it's on our Facebook page, the All About You show.
Okay, it's not on
It
Marion's?
was warm to me.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no.
where do I go?
All About You.
Okay.
But you know, too, one thing I've noticed too about getting stuff done though is sometimes the person who's telling you it's great has just newly gotten something done. Sometimes if they've just newly gotten it done, it hasn't been 6 months, 8 months, a year before something starts.
Yeah. And then
Then you might not know that they had a problem. Because you may get your stuff done
before the swelling has gone down and you get to see
before.
the real final picture.
Absolutely.
And remember, when we come off the break, I'm doing the commercial. No, not yet. Not yet.
allaboutYou.com?
No, All About You show on Facebook. Okay.
She's going to do the commercial when we come back from break. Because she's going to do, remember?
Yeah, but with all that attitude, they came with that just now.
Because we did this last week, and then you still just
For me?
Yes, you did. Yes, you
You need to do it on the
did.
You
You
need
better
to do
get
it
that
on the
advertisement
radio.
in playing.
Oh, yeah, because they advertised it wasn't enough.
Why you playing? Why you playing?
Can I bring us in first, madam?
I guess I'm just illiterate.
It's conversation.
Live horse racing returns to Sam Houston Race Park with the kickoff of the 2018 American Quarter Horse Meet on Friday, March 30th. The fun continues with 50-cent beer every Friday. Then come out for Dollar Day on Saturday, March 31st, when your favorite items are just $1. Compete on the all-new Ninja Warrior course and catch all the fun for the family in between races. For more information, call 281-807-8700 or go to shrp.com. Ask about our sweet special for as low as $2.99 for 10 people. Sam Houston Race Park. Come for the fun.
And we are back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Susan Nebb, your wellness warrior.
And Daydream.
and our studio guest,
And Jackie?
Jackie. You're doing quite well to be nervous. You're doing quite well.
Very
You know,
good.
we were again talking about having implants and all of the side effects that comes about as a result from having these implants. That a lot of women that you know or may know could very easily be suffering some of these symptoms, but yet not making the connection between their breast implants and the actual illnesses themselves. So, so Jackie, finish telling us. You, like you said, you had to go through almost not being able to breathe, and paramedics coming in, and all of that before you, at that moment, realized my life is threatened.
Yeah,
That's gotta
exactly.
that's gotta be devastating at that moment.
And then the other thing is, I've had asthma since I was a kid. The past 5 years, like I was glued to my inhaler. It causes chronic inflammation in your body.
The inhaler does?
No, the
The-
implants.
Oh, the implants. Okay.
And asthma is inflammation of the lungs. So I was constantly asthmatic, glued to my inhaler all the time. But when I a terrifying feeling is when you figure out it's the implants and you're
Yes.
like, you want to scratch them out.
I know you
I
want to
bet.
find
And you're like,
out.
oh no, now.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a surgery date. You want it tomorrow. It's like a panicky feeling.
I would
Like all of a
imagine.
sudden, you
I
just
bet.
want them out.
See, that would be me. I'm telling you,
So
in the garage.
when you go when you go and talk to the doctor about having an explant,
Yeah.
what is their reaction to you? Are they making it sound like, oh, this is okay, you're just having experiencing?
There is no scientific evidence to back up what
Oh,
you're
Oh,
saying.
see
my
that?
goodness.
Oh, wow. I was afraid. I was
I
afraid.
knew
That's
it.
why I asked
That's
that
my
question. I was
everything.
afraid.
I am paying you to take them out like I paid you to take them in.
And I
I'm
don't
not
need your
blaming and
opinion.
pointing fingers.
I'm just
I
saying
just
do it.
want them out.
Exactly.
I want your expertise with that knife and nothing else.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Mhm.
How many different doctors?
I didn't. I
You stuck with the same doctor?
Yeah, he knows my body. He's been in it already. And
So
I'm
good.
really
Okay,
looking
you
for
see where I'm going
experience.
with
Yeah,
this.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for experience. I'm looking for someone who has done this so many hundreds of thousands of time versus somebody with principles of they're bad for you. I really just want somebody with experience who's going to go dive into my body.
So the doctor who told you, who convinced you not to do
What you wanted
just the breast
originally.
lift that you wanted,
Mhm.
but convinced you to put in implants that caused your body to reject. You went back to that same doctor for him to take them out, which I get. I would have done this.
No.
You went to a different doctor.
Well, I went to a different doctor the second time when my body rejected the first ones. And he's the one who did the silicone.
Mhm.
So I went back to him to take them out.
Oh,
Right.
Your
Okay.
second doctor, not
Yeah.
the one that convinced you to get him in the
Okay,
first
so
place.
2 different doctors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
But I do understand where you're going, and there are a lot of surgeons that are on an explant preferred list
Oh, wow.
that truly believe the implants are bad, and they only specialize and take them out. And those
Nice.
surgeons I heard are backed up, and I just wanted them out. And I was kind of choosing a path of least resistance. I was sick. I called them up, just wanted a
Right.
date. Here's my cash. Let's get it over with.
I'm surprised that,
I understand
again,
that.
knowing the medical community, that you would have doctors actually state that it's not healthy, it's not this, it's not that, because normally they don't do that.
Mm-mm.
You know, they're going to stick with each other. They're going to stick with, well, it's safe and millions of women have them and you should have no problem. So to actually find a physician, that's almost like finding a lawyer who would sue another lawyer. It's very unlikely. You know,
This list is on Nicole's page.
she does have
On the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
we will
called
definitely.
explant list,
Yeah.
and these doctors, and I'm sure they're hated by other plastic surgeons,
yeah, because they're
specialize,
bringing the truth to light.
and
Exactly.
they also talk to women about detoxing, and afterwards they want people to go on a detox diet.
I believe it because you've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
all
the
the
flush
questions.
out stuff, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what precipitated? I know you know Nicole.
I don't know her. I just know her page.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Because there was somebody that I communicated with that had gone through this. I'm trying to think of what it was. I've gone through so much stuff. But the point that I'm making is all of the women's stories are different, but they all end up the same way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with your being deathly ill. But I'm just curious if there's, because I read somewhere where some women's breasts will leak,
Mm.
you know, secretions and...
Yeah, there are a lot worse cases than mine, but almost all of them start with my symptoms, which is chronic fatigue, the muscle pain. And if you go through her page and read everybody's story, and these are daily, these aren't old stories. There's
I know, I've seen them.
new stories every day.
Give
from
her website
every
again.
part of the
Give her
the
Facebook.
page is called Breast Implant Illness Healing by Nicole. They're from across the globe. Like you'll see Thailand, Australia, South Africa or Canada. I mean, it's all over the world.
You know, women are united. That's one thing we can do
Right,
very
They're
well.
they're fighting each other.
Well, even
Really quickly, I'm sorry. Silky Smooth, who is not in the studio with us today, has checked in, and she says, "Hi team,
Hey.
you're looking great. A plastic surgeon tried to talk me into getting breast implants many years ago." So wow, did not know that.
I mean, I can't imagine. And at one point, I'm sure they were very trendy, like you said earlier.
Right.
Because I read somewhere they're doing the
The
when women are
90s
in their
and the
20s.
2000s.
When they're in their 20s, young girls were getting them just for the sake of getting them. But now, I think it was Victoria Beckham and somebody else have had theirs removed.
Yeah.
Good.
Sue Osborne, whatever her name is,
Mm-hmm.
have had theirs removed. So a lot of these women now are realizing that, and Pam Anderson, all these big breasts, you know, are not in anymore. It's like big hair. it goes away.
Exactly. It might take a while, but
I
it
saw
will
a
go
shirt that
away.
said flat is back. That was cute. It really was.
I know what it was I was reading the other day. There's an organization called TITS. And how cute is that?
Gotta write that down.
Let me write. It's called, that stands for the Implant Truth Survivors.
Gotcha.
The Implant Truth Survivors, TITS.
Nice.
And so this particular woman, she's the one who started making this month, the month of March, the National Breast Implant Awareness Month.
Oh, did not
Because
know that.
she's had a series of, she started this whole thing. Hers is called TITS, the TITS Committee.
You know what I'm guilty of? Ever since I got them out, like if I see somebody in public with them, I just have like this like
Look.
Tunnel vision?
tunnel vision, and I corner them, and I try not to like come on too strong, but I'm like, okay, this is my story. I'm not saying it's happening to you, because women are very defensive about this. They're very,
That's what I
very
just said.
highly
You know
defensive
who we
about
are.
it.
Yeah.
I get called all my friends that have implants, and the attitude that I've gotten is basically
That's your
something
issue. It's
like,
your issue.
I'm sorry, your boobs
As I
are
said,
make
your
you
issue.
sick, but
Right.
mine are fine. Okay, but you're gonna remember next time that you're sick or you're tired. You're gonna remember what I
Wow.
said.
Absolutely.
But in public, I will find girls and I'll try to be like, just tell them the first things to watch for. So I guarantee anybody I talk to, second she is tired, she's gonna be thinking,
Something
Right,
could
because
be
you can't
happening.
unhear it.
Right,
What you
right.
do,
no,
you
they
can't
can't.
unhear
Once
it.
you
They
know,
look
you know.
scared half the time. My ex-boyfriend was like, stop scaring these girls.
I was gonna say that's pretty scary what you're doing. You're just going up to somebody. First of all, you're calling out a woman to let her know those are fake. Yeah.
Yes, I do. I corner these women and I make them listen to me, and they look like they've seen a ghost.
see,
and I'm like, bye.
Unless
Oh,
and
wow.
until it happens to them, it probably has no bearing at all.
My whole thing is
Exactly.
don't let it. I try to tell them don't let it get to the point that I let it get to before I put it together. Like watch for the first things if you just want to enjoy them now. But when you start seeing, the colds that never go away,
Right.
the chronic fatigue, the muscle pain, memory loss of concentration, just take care of it right then. Don't let it get to a point of where I was bedridden.
Right.
Gotcha, that's scary.
We have Jimmy checking in on Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning in again,
Hey,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
And he
Well
says
done.
that natural is better.
And that's from a man.
Absolutely.
Y'all need to get with that.
Okay, but that's what they say. Here's my thing about it. That's what you say, but when we bring up the fact, oh, I want to get this done, I want to get that, baby, you don't need to do all that, but yet you're still helping either fork out the money for it, or you're right there.
Well,
You're not saying no.
Well, the wife won't never
Like
say
you really
no.
would.
You know how
You know
we
what I
are,
mean?
but you know how we are.
Well,
Man,
even boyfriends.
Right here, it says, my husband was
You know?
100% against it. They burst and leaked out of my nipples and other parts of my body. The
Oh, my
experience was
God.
horrible. Not only did I throw away money, we could have used the $10,000. We had to spend money for surgery, removal of the implants, removal of all my breast
Oh,
tissue,
my
and
God.
reconstructive surgery. And
That's
it goes
awful.
on and on.
I spent $10,000 getting them out.
Oh,
Wow.
So I guess in my whole
Does
life,
insurance cover this?
no. And here's
Even
the-
though it was a health issue, they
Wait.
wouldn't cover it?
they won't acknowledge it's a health issue. No, you have
Oh.
rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh, you
don't have anything wrong
It's
with your
not.
breast.
That's right.
It's
I didn't know about
localized.
that.
No, let's talk
Right.
about something else. They won't acknowledge it, but if you have or had implants, your premium is higher. So wait, they won't acknowledge that it's an illness, but if you have them, they're
They're
going
gonna
to
make sure
charge
to
you
charge more money
more.
so that when you do
So,
get ill.
so
I
they
was just
do
gonna
know.
say,
So
yeah.
that's kind of like
Well,
you
that's
know.
That's
But
not
you don't
an issue.
know.
But you won't cover it. But if I have it, you're going to charge me more.
I
And
cannot
you do know
confirm
that
nor
you're
deny.
going to do it.
Exactly.
Right. And insurance companies run doctors.
Absolutely.
And then they run the hospitals.
Yeah.
So they're running everything. So if they
Right,
say
because
that,
they're giving all these extra discounts and all this nice swag and everything else to these doctors. Use this
oh,
pills.
use this product.
I'd see it all the time when I was working with the county because I worked with mental health with the mental health caseload, and we'd see the farm salesperson in there all the time. They'd come in with donuts. They'd come in with this
I've
whole
seen that too.
spread, and we loved it because like, oh yeah,
Even beyond
those
that.
people are coming in today. So I'm gonna eat my sandwich. I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna take whatever you're giving me.
They used to pay for us to go to trips. We'd go on trips to Hawaii, trips to Del Largo, go horseback riding, all these different places that drug companies like Lilly and
See, how is that
Those-
legal?
it-
But if you're in
wow.
college and you're being scouted,
I'm just telling you.
why you can't do that? But you can do that as a quote unquote a licensed professional.
I'm telling you, that's what they
So I don't
do.
understand how
For
that's
you to
legal.
try a specific antibiotic, and if it's something big, they would send you Like I said, you can go anywhere you want.
Meanwhile, it's gonna kill you.
They've given me beautiful crystal Waterford vases and clocks. And,
They're running
That's
things.
bribery on a whole new
it's
level.
right, at a very high level. You're like, dang, I'm liking this. Okay, but that's what they do. So they have their own little niche. That's why I say I know how
What was your
doctors do things.
estimate on how many women have implants right now?
5 million, over 5 million.
So
and
if
that
they
was
were
in,
to
that was
acknowledge
in 3
this,
years.
they would have a 5 million women problem to pay for it. The medical community will not acknowledge that this is a problem.
I'm telling you, I say this, but also a lot of these companies, when they're coming out with these products, they do have money set aside for lawsuits because they already know that their product has not been tested properly. Somebody's going to sue.
Well, it's just like insurance. You have it, but then when it's time for you to use it, then you get
nothing
penalized for it.
applies.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it's like everything else I've paid over all these years. Now that I need you to do something,
They look for a reason. not to
yeah,
do it.
then I still have to pay out more.
But it was nice to see Jimmy say that natural is better, but we need more men to make their women feel like natural is
Sexy
actually
as
better.
it
Yeah,
is.
because when you're on
Sexual.
social media, it doesn't look like men think natural is better.
No,
Absolutely.
because
And the
everybody's looking right.
And the first time you're somewhere and the man that you're with
Stares.
stares
around and
at
looks
the
at the
very
food.
one, then
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, but I thought you said natural was better, but yet every time I see you looking, you're looking at somebody, so then I feel
Yeah.
like,
Come
I
on.
knew somebody did like that back in the day, and I grew mine, so I knew something was real wrong. I'm like, these are wrong.
I think the world needs to be awakened, and I'm saddened by the fact that it takes the health or lack of health.
It takes a near-death experience.
That's what I said, a lack of health for
Absolutely.
women to have to experience this.
But I mean, everybody needs to understand these are our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, our aunts. These are our women.
Right.
Yeah, this is the core. I mean,
Absolutely.
we're it.
And not to let the men have so much control over how we treat one another. Because, see, we're probably equally as bad with other women at making us feel as if, you get in a circle of women and you're telling everybody, you know what, you need to go get yours done. I got mine done. And look at what has happened since I got mine done.
Right.
Making each other feel insufficient. We should be bringing each
Exactly.
other up instead of bringing each other down. But we've been talking about that, but people need to do it.
They don't do
Absolutely.
it. But like I said, usually when you get breast implants, it's not so much for yourself or for your man. Oftentimes, it's to compete.
It really is
Absolutely.
for yourself.
Yeah, it should be.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Well,
For your
that's
own
what I'm saying. It was
personal-
your
for
own
your
purpose.
personal thing.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's exactly. what it is.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I know you do have breast implants. So are they any safer for women who've had reconstructive surgery? If you know, and if anybody out there knows that's listening, give us a call at 713-789-0096. Because you do have women who
Like
have
breast cancer survivors
Right,
who had to have
exactly. Who have
mastectomy.
to
So
have.
what?
Okay,
What
I'm not
happens
a
with that?
doctor, but if you think about it, if they've had breast cancer, they probably have a weakened immune system. So I would think it would almost be worse for them
to have.
Right.
Makes sense to me.
That makes
because
sense.
they already have had a body that has undergone so much, and now you're
Adding.
you're adding this onto it. But I can understand why they would want to. I mean, having one breast probably makes them feel really uncomfortable.
Right.
That-
I'd imagine.
That's gotta
Well,
be
you
hard.
know, as a matter of fact, there was this woman years ago. Her name was Ann Jillian, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And I named my daughter Jillian because I was so impressed with her. She was a beautiful woman. Blonde, wore, blonde bob and all this, and in all the movies and all this other stuff. She ended up having to have a double mastectomy. And I think what I was most impressed by is when she said, I will not have reconstructive surgery because whether or not I have girls doesn't make me a woman or not. So she never got reconstructive surgery. She just,
Man, that's a strong person.
I know, that's why I said,
Absolutely.
I was quite
Especially
impressed
at
with
that
her.
time.
Yeah, because this
Because
was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
maybe
to not
30
have
years
any,
ago.
see, like I said, my vanity got me, and for my 33rd, 34th birthday, I had my breasts reduced and lifted because I wanted to like how I looked when I looked at
It's
myself.
about us.
It really wasn't for
By
anybody else.
Yeah.
It was all about me.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't with anybody at the time, so I it really was about me, but I didn't like what I saw in the mirror, and so I went and had the surgery. So yeah, I do have scars, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm just like, it's a hell of a scar and whatever.
It is.
But my girls are sitting up, which is what I wanted. So I can. That has to take a strong person because one sagged a little bit more than the other, or they weren't as perky as they used to be. Right. It made me go to something extreme. So.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can see this happening. So Jackie, now that you've had the explant, how difficult was that to go through?
It was.
I remember talking to you during the process.
Really hard because like they couldn't find a vein. They couldn't, I mean, we sat for, you know, the block that they put you in before surgery, they couldn't find a vein. They kept collapsing because my body was in a constant state of muscle spasms. It hurt like a million times more than anything I've ever been. It felt like when I came out of, when I came to from the surgery, it felt like I got hit by a truck.
So it was worth taking them out and putting them in.
A million times worse. And
Wow.
within 10 days to 2 weeks, I was back in the hospital
I remember
with
that.
a bacteria infection in my right chest cavity. And it was horrible. Like every 2 hours they came in with a different type of strong antibiotic. And I remember some of them were so strong they made me shake. And I did that for almost a week.
Oh my goodness.
I remember it.
And
Talking
it was real
about
iffy if I was going to have a second surgery. It really just comes down to, I knew going into surgery that my body was extremely weak, but it wasn't going to get better. So it wasn't like if I wait a week,
It's not going to be any better. It's not gonna be
yeah.
any better
So
situation.
I was like, you're going to have to do this, and
Determination.
what happens, happens.
Man.
But there was a little voice inside my head that told me this ain't going to be easy, but you're going to get through it. And it wasn't easy. I mean, I ended up back in the hospital.
It had to have felt like a never-ending nightmare. I got sick to put them in. Okay, I'm finally getting them out so that way I'm not sick, and
And
it's the
still
same.
sick.
Yeah.
So from end to end, how long was that? From the time you actually got them in and started getting sick to the time you actually got them out and you felt recovered?
2007 until today, I'm still recovering. It was January 11th
Wow.
When you had the initial.
Yeah. when I got him out.
Wow.
This year.
Yeah, I just
That's
got him out
oh,
in January.
wow. She sent me a text that says, you like controversial talk.
You got the right one.
Let's talk about that. I was like, okay, let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah. She just had it done.
I applaud you.
Man.
You're
Yeah, I
definitely
just-
a
in
warrior. I
January.
applaud you.
Yeah, and
That's
I
awesome.
really limped in there.
I remember you telling me.
Wow.
So
and,
now,
and here, I feel my, okay, so that was January 11th, and what are we, at the end of March? I feel my metabolism,
coming back to,
it's my old metabolism. I've dropped 18 pounds. I've not
Wow.
tried, and it's not like, it's not like I've done anything. I feel my metabolism immediately speeded up to what it used to be.
Right. Getting back to normal.
Yeah.
see, you may have gotten bigger boobs, but then you got fatter. I mean, so
I
it's
got
kind of
fatter.
what the
If I
hell,
would've
you can't
done-
even enjoy
hey,
it. I mean, what the hell?
The weight gain immediately. If they would have someone just said, you're going to gain 50 pounds.
That would have
Like,
been it. Yeah, because we don't want
Like,
the
that's
weight.
okay.
I don't think
I'll get a push-up, bro.
I
I'll be
will
okay.
keep my
Boobs are
hanging
fine.
titties
Yes.
over 50 pounds.
I'll continue to watch
Yeah.
my Victoria's Secret by
That's
hand
it. That's
forever.
it. And then you have bras that have water in it.
Yeah.
Roll them up, lift them
Exactly.
up.
Exactly. That'll be a better way.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guys,
I've already lost weight. A lot of weight.
Wow.
Wow. Bless your
Well,
heart, Jackie.
that's awesome. What, in 2 months?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man.
So, guys, again, if you have a spouse or a girlfriend or a daughter that's looking to pursue the breast implant, please make them aware. Let them know that this is not the one-all be-all, and there is a price to pay after that. So we'd like to thank Jackie Nall for joining us, and also I wanted you to know that this is National Breast Awareness Month, and for those who have implants and those considering them, it is a valuable time spent to seek all avenues for information. Educating yourself about the risks, the types of implants, and how they are managed are vital to your health. Arm yourself with the tools that you need to answer the proper questions about your mammograms and stuff like that. Did you have problems well, you're too young. You didn't have to have mammograms just yet, did you?
I'm scared to do anything with these things. I just want to leave them alone.
Don't
It
touch
caused me
them.
so many
Right?
problems. I just pretend they're gone.
We'll be right back. We got to go to break. This is
You are listening to The Bridge. Share your opinion by calling 798-789-0096. Stay
We've got 5
tuned.
minutes.
Are you
When we come back, when we come back, again, we need to do another commercial, and they actually sent a new one. Another new one.
just now?
Different one, yeah. It has to do with their music, the
I
concerts they
thought
have.
she said I was gonna call you.
And,
I just checked and she said she had a family emergency. So I guess
well,
people
anyway,
like
listen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll come back to break, do
Yeah.
a live commercial feed, and then we need to introduce her so she can get her segment in.
Okay, that's what
And
it
it's
is. So
got, we got 5 minutes to do it.
so what am I doing? So bringing us back in? And
Let
are you
me
going to do it?
read the
Do it.
commercial, and then once I'm done with the commercial, then
Okay.
get back into it. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. country artists are back in Houston to play the 2018 Spring Concert Series at Sam Houston Race Park. Every Friday is 50-cent beer and live racing. Then this Saturday, don't miss Texas' very own Aaron Watson as he takes the Bud Light stage immediately after live quarter horse racing. Tickets for as low as $10 are on sale now at shrp.com. Get your tickets to see Aaron Watson today. Concert presented by Oakmart. Sam Houston Race Park. Come for the fun.
There's big fun out there at the race park, that's for sure. Thank you, Daydream, for reading that. We do have another segment of our show, which is our Wellness Warrior. She's going to talk to us about pills, potions, and what else?
And poison.
Okay, yeah. Which is what we just finished talking about.
Absolutely, it's right in there.
Yeah, so what Jackie has was poison in her body.
And you know what's funny about that, not funny, haha, funny, but funny, funny, is that some of what I've been reading about the things that are in our food that are poisoning us, it kind of falls along the same thought process, because I've talked to a lot of people about what they're eating and the ingredients in their foods. Like one of the ingredients is was it BHA, BHT.
Okay, so
those are items that's a chemical that is also found in car oils and things like that.
Like that.
So here it is. I can talk to people about a variety of other things, hydrogenated oil, high fructose corn syrup, and they're thinking, well, there are people who live to be a ripe old age and eat those things. But the problem is when you're doing that, you're impacting your health along the way. My thing is, if Granny lived to be 88, eating all this stuff, she could have lived to be 98
Right.
or 108, and she left that alone.
Right.
And I think people need to be very aware of the labels that they're putting on food, because they're set up to hide things from us. They're set up not to let some of these items that they're putting in food, they don't allow over in Europe.
Oh, they can't. The labels. Well, yeah, you have to label everything there,
Exactly.
not here.
They're causing cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and a host of other diseases, but they're allowed to be here in the States. And they're also in our cosmetics and in so many other things, sodium nitrate, sodium nitrite, MSG, like I said, high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oil. If you want your arteries to clog up, you eat a lot of stuff with hydrogenated oil in it. That'll get it done for you. I can say that for myself.
Yeah, that's right, she had a heart attack.
Yes, I had a heart attack when I was 43 years old. And I will tell you that I was the same as you. I was vain. I wanted to hang out with my friends. That's what they were eating. So I ignored those very things that could have helped support me in not having a heart attack at 43. But I'm going to be 55 this year. I'm going to be all right.
That's
now.
right. You made it through.
And also talking about some of the pills and the items that are on the market these days that are designed to help you with your weight, help you lose weight, all sorts of things, the different aspects of health. But what they're really doing is they have chemicals in them.
They're killing you is what they're doing.
Exactly.
Let's call it what it is. They're killing you.
They have stimulants in them that cause your heart to palpitate. People have been known to have heart attacks. The same thing with some of the things that we're drinking, some of
these monster drinks,
exactly.
all of these energy drinks, yeah.
And they've recorded, they've documented teenagers who've had heart attacks, who have died because they mainline that stuff, because as some folks may not already know or may know, things that are caffeinated or have stimulants in them curb your appetite.
Right.
Once again, we're getting into our vanity. We want to lose weight. We want to get slimmer. So what do? We mainline things that are caffeinated. They give us energy. We believe they're keeping us clear, and we're gonna lose weight.
And we take all the diet pills with the fat burner, fuel burner, this and this and that, and just get us all.
So as they're burning your fat and making you skinny, I always say I don't need to be a skinny dead person. That's not what I'm trying to do.
So cute.
Right. When they lay me down, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm make sure my lashes are straight.
But just one of the things I wanted to make sure to tell people, though, is to take some time to get educated about what is on the labels, not only what you put in your body, but what you put on your body, and of those products that they are claiming are going to keep you healthy. Check the scientific research behind them. See what's backing them. See who's backing them. Because anytime you go to some of our, and I won't name it because I don't want them, sending us messages, but one of the large organizations that is responsible for pulling together people who have been afflicted by certain illnesses are backed by our, red meats or some of the other companies that are actually killing us. So we need to get ourselves educated, and we need to do as much as we can. And I tell people, I'm a wellness warrior for a reason. I'm the same way as Jackie is. No one should have to go through what I had to go through in order to get educated.
Now, for me, I gave up eating meat 47 years ago. There's certain things I will not eat. There's certain things you have to take control of your health and do it from as natural a position as you can. The more pharmaceuticals, the more you involve big pharma in your life, the more you're being
Absolutely.
lied to, and you're being killed quicker because again they've got too many people and they're trying to get rid of some of the population.
Absolutely.
So
But that's what my biggest thing was, is just to let you all know there are so many things involved in our food, in our fluids, in our environment. If they're not allowed in another country,
surely there's
a
And
reason for
remember,
that.
those are supposed to be third world countries.
Okay,
But
We're civilized, yet we have all kinds of banned substances.
Absolutely.
Well, ladies, thank you for your time this evening, and we do hope that you have paid close attention to our interview with Jackie Knoll, who had this incident from implant to explant. We applaud you for coming.
Absolutely.
And making other women aware.
That was a hard
It's not
story
that
to
easy.
share,
And
absolutely.
it just happened. It wasn't as though it was a year or two ago. It was in January.
Absolutely.
We would like to thank our wellness warrior who always keeps us on point. So with that, we will see you next week on the radio.
Excellent.
Okay. Did you catch him here in the church? We were talking about wrestling plans.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got out the way for a second.
what we got to take?
I got out the way for a second.